Gay Street has been a prominent part of Knoxville for centuries, but before it was a prosperous street, attractive to tourists, it was small and home to Knoxville's cultural development.
I'm Jack Neely. I'm a researcher and writer. I am executive director of the Knoxville History Project. Underground Gay Street is one of those questions that almost everybody, I would say probably once a month, someone asks me a question about Underground Gay Street. And I don't remember when I first heard of it, but I was always intrigued by it. Everybody seems to be intrigued by what they can't see beneath the city. I first heard of it a long time ago, back in the 1970s. I think I saw a newspaper article about it, but I over the years learned more and more, and I began writing a column for a newspaper and began finding a reason to refer to it now and then. It's an interesting story. For a long time, Knoxville was on top of a bluff. When the early settlers established their capital in Knoxville, they put it on top of a bluff. It'd be easier to defend. Also didn't flood at all, ever. For many years, the city was up here and the railroad was down there. That caused some problems. One, because when they built a bridge over the railroad so that people could drive first horse carts and then cars over the railroad tracks, they could go over the trains as opposed to jouncing over the tracks and maybe breaking their axles. There was an iron bridge there for a long time. Well, the problem was Knoxville was up here on the bluff. There was an iron bridge that went over the tracks, and in between was a deep trough that they called the death dip because it was blamed for several accidents, some fatal accidents, I suppose, but it was like a roller coaster. Honestly, it was like the Gay Street was. You'd go down steeply down this hill and then up over the arched bridge, and so it was not ideal. And it's kind of funny to see the doughboys marching off to World War I in 1917, because you see them marching down this steep hill, and it's hard. It's kind of disorienting because it looks kind of familiar, but you're not used to seeing a steep hill there. But it was actually during World War I that the city got together and said, let's do this. It's going to be expensive, but let's straighten this out with a viaduct. Let's build a viaduct all the way across, connecting the top of the bridge to the main business part of Gay Street, and that would mean sacrificing some lower levels of the floors of these buildings. But let's just build over these buildings and let them make the second floor the entrance to the building now. So that's how it works. Well, for people who had businesses there, the drastic change was putting the new entrances in on the upper floors, and what to do with the lower floors. Some of these places already had basements, so now we have some buildings with 3 basements below the street level, basically.
There isn't much left to see of Underground Gay Street today, but Gay Street has always been a key part of the development of Knoxville, even Tennessee as a whole. We've looked at the past of Gay Street, but what is there to say about its future and the potential that lies within its underground?